Good afternoon, everyone. You're almost welcome to this afternoon's YouTube presentation. So I want to talk to you at the moment about the hidden force that's running inside your business. Because that force that's operating inside your organization doesn't appear in any balance sheet. It doesn't show up in any reports. And yet, without question, it is the single most powerful factor whether your people will reach their potential, whether they'll reach the sale targets that you've set out, and whether the culture that you're trying to build right now will actually take root. And the force that I'm talking about now is called the paradigm. But what is the paradigm? I've spoke about this before, but quite simply, a paradigm, it's a multitude of habits that's fixed in the subconscious mind. It is the mental operating system that every one of your employees is running right now, whether they're aware of it or not. It governs how they think, it governs how they feel, and ultimately the results that they produce. Look, think of it in this way. You hire someone, you hire their qualifications, their experience, their skills, but what you don't see on their CV is their paradigm. But within weeks, sometimes days, you actually feel it, within your core, there's something different about the way they handle pressure. You can see the way they respond to a difficult situation or to a difficult client. They see the way that they react to the initiative or the direction that you've asked them to take. Sometimes they'll move quickly forward, sometimes they'll step back. But this is all the paradigm that's at work. You can spend within your organization the best training, money on the best training programs. You can have the best sale process, the best management frameworks. But you know what? If the paradigm of your people doesn't shift, the results won't shift. And it's all about the results. That is the truth of it. But where does this paradigm actually come from? The paradigm wasn't chosen consciously. It formed in childhood through repetition, through environment from parents, grandparents, teachers, other people's opinions and experiences, naturally enough. And they became a set of beliefs in our subconscious mind. And unfortunately, some of those beliefs, whether good or bad, became automatic and affected every decision that you made. So the truth is, by the time the person walks right through the door of your business on their first day of employment, the paradigm has already been established. And it tells them what they think they're capable of. It tells them how much they're worth, how much effort is appropriate, and what happens to people who try to think too hard or try to think outside the box. Most of them are not aware of any of this. They simply get into the water and they swim. But how does the paradigm affect your sales? This is one of the questions I ask within my business. Because you can have two salespeople, the same product, the same market, the same training, the same scripts, but completely different results. And most sales managers will look at activity levels, they look at call volumes, they look at pipelines and look at all the data and they'll ask, where's the gap? But the truth is the gap is between the ears. That's where it was for me. It was between the ears. And it's not that your salespeople are lazy or they're unintelligent. They're operating within the boundary of the paradigms. The paradigm that they've been built in. They have an internal thermostat. Just like a thermostat that regulates the temperature in your room. You can turn up the heat with all the incentives. You can give competitions, pay increases, motivational talks, all the different things. But the truth is, the thermostat will set back to where it once was and the results will return to the same level. And until the paradigm changes, and mark my words, until that paradigm changes, nothing else will change. It has to change from the core. We have higher mental faculties. We have perception, will, reason, imagination, memory, intuition. They're available to every one of us, including your team of salespeople. Excuse me. But the truth is that for them to operate with their higher mental faculties, they have to start getting an understanding of how they can change the paradigm by using their higher mental faculties, by responding from their higher mind, not from conditioning, but from changing that paradigm. But how does their paradigm affect the performance across your organization? And you can ask this question. It can be within your business organization, it can be within your friends, it can be within your family, no matter who it is. It affects the manager who avoids the difficult conversation because the paradigm tells him or her that the conflict is quite dangerous. The team meeting never quite gets to the real issue because the unbroken rule is set by the collective paradigm. The project stalls because the resources are not there, but the truth is some of the team just don't believe that they can succeed. And it affects innovation. And when a team's collective paradigm is rooted in that belief that the way things have been done before is the safest way forward, new ideas then are quietly strangled before they ever reach the table. And not out of malice, But just out of conditioning, again, it's the paradigm. It affects leadership. It affects so many different areas of the business. And we could talk all day how this paradigm really controls the business and it controls the results that you're explaining. But when the paradigm is left unexamined, it becomes that invisible ceiling of the whole organization. Let us take a look for a few moments. If there was a paradigm shift within your business, how it can change everything. Remember, a paradigm shift is not a motivational moment. It's not a buzzword. It's not some inspiration from some speaker, because the truth is, a lot of these motivational talks that each and everyone is here and love, they're only temporary. But when there's a genuine paradigm shift occurs, oh my God, something remarkable happens. They begin to see what was previously invisible to them. Opportunities that existed suddenly become obvious, and problems that felt insurmountable begin to look at steps in the process. That internal thermostat is reset and performance rises to a new level, and it actually stays there. And this is not a theory. This is actually how the human being actually works. I've been fortunate to study from some of the works of the late great Bob Proctor, who in my opinion is probably one of the greatest men that understood the power of the paradigm and how it affected the conscious and the subconscious mind, how it affected our performance and how it affected our results. There's no doubt about it. When he would state that the reprogramming of the subconscious mind by new ideas and new inputs and new environments, and everything changes. And we've often heard in biblical terms, it's by their fruits you will know them. But the truth is, it's by the results you will know how your company is going. So what does it mean to your business when there's a big paradigm change? The truth is, if you're serious about lifting the performance of your people, if you want your sales teams to be operating from their full potential, excuse me, and if you want a culture where people can be the best that they can be, in the most comfortable areas that they can be, and working in a situation where their paradigm has been changed, this is really important that you start to understand that. Because we want your team to be operating at the higher level. The capacity is already there. It just simply needs to be freed. The investment in this kind of development is not a cost. It's the highest return decision a business can make. Because when thinking changes, the truth is everything changes. And the results follow the thinking. They always have, and they always will. Look, just a final thought from me. You didn't build your business by accident. Either did I. You built it through a particular quality way of thinking. And the question is now, is your business ready to make the next change? Is it ready to go to the next level? Look, if you feel that it is, definitely look and start to study about the paradigm. Ask yourself the question, how can I bring changes to my business? How can I get my staff to have a different form of improving the results that they have each and every day? And ask themselves the question, like, would it be worth them training to learn how to change the paradigm, how to create a paradigm shift within the business, and how they can change the results permanently? Look, I hope this video has been some benefit to your business or to some of your staff. And between now and our next video next week, we hope that you have a great week, that you reside in abundance, and God bless you all. Thank you.